Okay, I did predict that they would qualify, but let's talk about Iceland and the divisiveness that has now become Iceland. Iceland, I think, had a really good chance of possibly winning this whole thing, but since the rehearsals and stuff have started, I'm sure you guys have kept up with it. You know, I get it that they're making a stand and they want capitalism to end and hate to prevail, but um, I feel like it's kind of gotten to a point where people are not um, feeling it anymore. It's super easy to buy into sort of the more upbeat, flashy, positive pop songs. It's a little bit more difficult to persuade the world that, hate will prevail. Plus, their staging, perhaps this is just my opinion, but I felt like their staging in their national final was like 100 times better than what they have at Eurovision. It should be the other way around. It feels like where in their final, they were all like, everything was spread out and looked good, and there was like room. And now here on a larger stage, it feels like they squished everything into the center of a very small amount, and it's almost like they're stepping over each other. Also, the vocals from the guy with the blonde hair were not great. Like, they were not, like, he was struggling with that. And as much as I admire them for speaking up about some of the social injustices that they feel like they need to speak up for, I do feel like it doesn't help their cause with the public that vote, to hear that the competition is a joke, and that all of their questions now, no matter what the question is, even if it's like hey, do you know I like your haircut, the answer is like, I cannot talk about if you like my haircut because I've been advised to not speak about that by Jan Olafsson. And to me, it's like, okay, we get it. Like, you did something that made them mad. They came back and told you, hey, cut it out. Like, there are just certain things that you can't do and can't say. And as much as I admire them for speaking out, I feel like that has turned a lot of people off. So where I used to think that Iceland maybe had a chance of winning Eurovision 2019, I don't see that happening. I feel like maybe 10th place, maybe. And I still think it's a great song, but the staging isn't right, and I don't like the attitudes that they've adopted over the course of this. And y'all can hate me for it all you want, but it's just my opinion. Okay, let's talk about the next one. Serbia. Predicted they were going to qualify. She was the one person the entire first semifinal who never was off pitch, ever. She also stood in one place, but we weren't really aware of the fact that she wasn't moving around that much because of how captivating the performance was. I felt like the smoke was a little much. We need to cut back on that, because at some points, like, I was kind of like, is she there? Like, where? Oh, okay, there she is. And also, I find her in press conferences, like, she could have a Serbia's Face Reacts channel herself, because her faces are hilarious. If you haven't seen some of the faces she was making at the winners press conference for semifinal one, you need to go back and watch it. She pretty much like speaks for all of us and makes faces for all of us when some of the other people are answering. But it was the only performance where absolutely everything was perfect. And it deserved to advance. Now, do I think it stands a chance of finishing top 10? My instincts tell me probably not, which makes me very sad. But I feel like there are so many songs that are coming in from semifinal 2, plus Italy, plus let's just say, just leave it at that, that could have stronger performances than what Serbia has. But I still love you, Serbia. You know I do. Okay, we're down to 3. Let's talk about Cyprus, Tamta, shall we? I've fallen so in love with her over the course of this competition. She's a consummate performer, but so down to earth, so accessible, has been through so much in her life, and is still going through so much. And she went first, which is obviously the worst spot. I don't know anybody who wants to go first in any part of Eurovision. I felt like she really owned that, and she sort of adopted it, and she made it her own thing. Like, she saw herself as, the opening act for semifinal one for Eurovision. And yes, I mean, she wobbled a little bit here and there with her pitch, and people can talk all they want about how this is Fuego 2.0, but at the end of the day, she put on a solid performance that was entertaining, and I think that's kind of what people want. Now, I don't think that Cyprus, when we find out the semifinal results after all of this, I don't think that they're going to finish as high as people maybe have thought that they did, but it deserved to go through, in my opinion, and I'm so happy that it did. My favorite moment from her in the winner's press conference, I don't know how many of you guys saw it, but whenever they were drawing first half, second half, and obviously she drew first half, which was just like, oh man, like, if anybody deserved to be second half, it was her, because she went first every time in this. But I loved towards the end when a reporter said to asked each artist, in which spot would you prefer to perform in the semifinal that you drew? And most of them were giving like pretty safe answers, like, it doesn't matter, I'll go here or there. When it got to Tamta, she was like, I'll go first. And I was like, okay, like, she's for real, she's owning it. She's not scared of going first. She doesn't see it as a disadvantage, and I love that. And if you haven't seen, by the way, the cover of her and the lead singer from Czech Republic singing Shallow, please find it and watch it, because for everyone who says that she's like, trying to just be Eleni, 2.0, like, there's so much talent and heart there in her. I do feel like the song is not the best showcase of what she can do vocally, but she still puts on a really good performance, and that's what Eurovision is about. Okay, next one that I did that I thought will qualify is Greece. I've said it since like the first 10 seconds of my reaction video. When I heard her voice, I was just like, whoa, like, we haven't heard a voice like that in Eurovision. I was nervous that something could go wrong vocally, because I think she was sick in Amsterdam, but I mean, it was way off. And I love that she not only sort of went for that high note that people doubted that she could do live, like, she got to that high note and then she stayed there. She was like, I can hit it and I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna bail out. I'm not gonna do a run. Like, I'm just gonna stay on it. And it was like a teensy bit sharp for a little bit, but the whole performance aspect of that and the staging was so beautiful, and Greece truly deserved this year, to be back in the grand final, and I'm so glad that you are. And then the last one. So let's talk about Australia. I try to keep myself from seeing a lot of the rehearsal footage. I'm not one of those who's gonna post videos, of every rehearsal that somebody does. But her performance, like, took my breath away. What she's doing up there on the pole thing, at least like 20 feet in the air, and moving around in different directions, and oh yeah, she's singing. Towards the very end, I think she was tired, and a couple of the runs were not there, like, pitch wise, but it was, for me, it was the best performance of semifinal one. I would not be surprised when we find out what the semifinal sort of scores were if Australia finished first or second. It was so different and so challenging, and she still managed to pull off an epic vocal, even though, you know, she was literally like moving all around the entire time in circles and holding a microphone, which was insane. I mean, come on. I loved it, and for me, you know, you never know if a Eurovision artist is going to take people's advice and change things up. And I think, you know, she listened when people were saying, please don't bring the huge dress because it's too much like Estonia. You know, she listened. And so they went back to the drawing boards and they, you know, came up with something that truly is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's almost like Cirque du Soleil meets Eurovision, but she's performing these sort of operatic vocals while she's doing all of that stuff. I don't know. She's, to me, like superhuman. I don't know how she does that. But if she can keep up vocally in the grand final, I think Australia has a good chance. I mean, my heart wants to say like top 5, but I think it all depends on what happens in the grand final. I will see you guys back for my semifinal 2 reaction video. Enjoy semifinal 2 tomorrow, everybody. You know, this only comes around for us once a year, and it's so awesome as an American and as a Texan that you are interested in what I think about this contest. So yeah, as always, thank you for the support. I wish all the countries the best, and I will see you guys back for the next reaction video. Peace. And I will see you guys back for my semifinal 2 reaction video. Enjoy semifinal 2 tomorrow, everybody. You know, this only comes around for us once a year, and it's so awesome as an American and as a Texan that you are interested in what I think about this contest. So yeah, as always, thank you for the support. I wish all the countries the best, and I will see you guys back for the next reaction video. Peace.